we're going to begin by sitting comfortably. So if you want to come on down to your mat, if it's more comfortable for you to sit up on a cushion, or if you want to sit up on your chair, that's fine as well. So go ahead and get comfortable. If this is a comfortable position for you, sit cross-legged, nice and tall. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. I want you to think about your breathing just for a moment. Just allow everything else to drift away from your consciousness. Bring your awareness to where you are right now, breathing in your nose and out your mouth. Think about breathing as you inhale. Breathe in like you're smelling the flowers. And as you exhale, breathe out your mouth as if you're flickering or gently blowing out the flame on a candle. And go ahead and follow your breath, just breathing in your nose, filling your core cylinder, relaxing everything, breathing out your mouth, letting the breath go. Your sitting bones are even. You're resting evenly on your sitting bones as your spine lengthens up and out of your pelvis in a nice, long, neutral position. Shoulders are relaxed. Neck is long, gaze is forward, arms resting comfortably on your knees, on your lap. Now I want you to eliminate the thought, which you may have heard before, that the classic Kegel exercise is imagining that you're holding the stream of urine. Try to let that go. We're going to think about the Kegel exercise in a different way today. I want you to imagine and feel the pubic bone at the front side of the body. And instead of thinking about stopping your flow of urine, I want you to think about drawing your pubic bone back towards your vagina, and then releasing it or relaxing it. So step one of this new way of thinking about the Kegel exercise is exhale, draw your pubic bone back towards your vagina. Inhale, soften and relax. Exhale, very gentle. Inhale, relax. Continue to do that in a slow count, in sync with your breathing. So think about everything in concert with the in-breath and the out-breath. So on the exhale, we pull the pubic bone back towards the vagina. And on the in-breath, we relax. That's all. Simple, subtle. And go ahead and practice about 4 more of these. Stay with your breath. Notice it might feel a little bit different. It might feel a little bit weird if this is new territory for you. All of that is normal. Remember, keep everything else relaxed. And let's do one more. Now relax everything. Let's take a deep inhale, deep cleansing breath. Exhale. Sit up tall once again, close your eyes, and now imagine the reverse of that from a posterior perspective. Your coccyx or your tailbone is now drawing in towards your vagina. So the contraction, the engagement is drawing your coccyx, your tailbone towards the vagina on your out breath. And then the in breath, we soften and relax everything. And let's practice a few rounds of this. Exhale, draw the tail in. Inhale, soften and relax. A little bit different. Feels a little bit different than bringing the pubic bone back. Just notice, no judgment. Just practice, do your best. You can't do it wrong. Breathing in your nose breathing out your mouth. And now, relax everything. Take a deep cleansing breath. Just let everything go for a moment. Okay, readjust, sitting up nice and tall. You're in a neutral spine. Now we're going to put those two together and create an engagement simultaneously. So you're going to bring your pubic bone back towards your vagina. At the same time, you're going to bring your coccyx, your tailbone, forward towards the vagina. And you're going to engage both and then release. Another visual to help your brain-body connection with this is imagine as you bring those two bones together towards the vagina, you're pulling up as if you had a Kleenex at your pelvic floor. And as you bring those two bony points together, you're drawing the Kleenex up your vagina, and then you're releasing and relaxing everything. So on your out breath, and on your in-breath, you're relaxing and releasing. So let's practice a few cycles. On the out-breath, drawing those two bones together, pull the Kleenex right up the vagina. And on the inhale, we soften and completely relax. Keep on practicing this. Notice, are you squeezing your buttocks? Are you tightening or gripping anywhere else? If you notice that tension being created in any other part of your body, be aware of that, stop, relax everything, and then restart the process. It takes a while to really get that, but each time you practice, you open up those neural pathways, which are important to, especially to this work. Another visual that might be helpful for you is instead of pulling the Kleenex up, imagine an elevator, and sometimes this is used in pelvic floor conditioning. If your vagina is like an elevator, as you draw in and up, the elevator climbs up. And as you release the elevator, nice control relaxes back down. So whichever visual works for you, you're drawing those bones together, you're pulling the Kleenex up the vagina, or the elevator draws in and up, and the elevator comes down and releases. So practice a few more cycles with your breath, stopping and noticing if tension is created elsewhere in the body, just letting it go and just coming back to practicing this new way of approaching a Kegel exercise. Let's do a few more cycles. We are retraining the brain-body connection, and that's what will guide us into effective results with this work. So be patient, no judgment. Notice the subtle differences in the movement. And now let's just relax everything. Take another deep cleansing breath. You can reach the arms. Exhale. And now we're going to move position and we're going to continue to practice. So come to a supine position on your mat. You're going to lay down now with your feet just about hip width apart. Rest your arms by your side. You're going to be looking up at the ceiling with your palms up, and take a moment to relax your shoulder blades. Get a sense of evenness between both of your scapula, your shoulder blades, just resting comfortably on the surface below you. Now do the same thing with your hips. The back of your pelvis should be resting evenly. Your feet hip width apart, your feet flat, your knees are about hip width apart, resting your arms heavy. Just get comfortable and breathe. Now, as we move into this next exercise or this different position of working with this new Kegel, I want you to think about just relaxing everything and filling your core cylinder with breath. So as you breathe in, we soften the belly, and organically the pelvis will tilt or the tail will drop slightly towards the floor. You may create a little bit of a space at the low back. When you exhale without any effort, we're just letting the pelvis drop. As the breath exits the body, the pelvis will very gently tuck. So we're not using any abdominal musculature to this tuck and tilt. It's very subtle. It's just a very gentle movement is activated by the breath. So take a few more breaths, relaxing everything. And then let your body, let your spine rest in a neutral position, which should take very little effort, right in between that subtle flexion and extension of your spine and tilting and tucking of your pelvis. So you're here. Now I want you to practice the same pulling your bones together. So your pubic bone draws down towards the vagina. Your tailbone draws up towards the vagina, but there's no movement. You can't tell when you do this pelvic floor work, you can't see the movement. Remember, it's very subtle. So you're pulling those two bones towards the vagina, but now we're adding another layer of engaging between your hip bones, so your ASIS, which we perceive to be our hip bones. When you exhale and draw the pelvic floor muscles up, I want you to imagine you're bringing those two bony points closer together. And then when you inhale, you relax everything. So your exhale, you're drawing your pelvic floor muscles up, or again, imagine the Kleenex or the elevator drawing up the vagina, the bones drawing closer together. And on your inhale, you're relaxing and letting everything go. So I want you to practice, keep on going. We're going to try to practice about 15 of these repetitions. Whenever you feel as though you're either squeezing your buttocks or you're gripping or engaging or tucking or tilting, anything other than that subtle engagement of your pelvic floor, which is an isometric contraction, I want you to stop, just readjust, take a cleansing breath, and revisit the exercise. Remember, you're breathing in the nose like you're smelling the flowers, breathing out the mouth like you're flickering or gently blowing out the flame on a candle. Focused attention. And when you feel like you've done somewhere around 15 or so, relax, go ahead and lengthen out, stretch out the arms and legs, just change up the position a little bit, shake it out, reach, stretch. And then come on back into the same position. And we're going to stay here on our mat for one more exercise. We're going to add another layer by bringing a bridge exercise into this pelvic floor engagement. So from this position, once again, refine neutral. On your out breath, we draw the muscles of the pelvic floor in and up. We bring those hip bones closer together, but now in a very gentle, very subtle way, we're going to press into the floor and lift our pelvis up into a bridge pose. We are going to be activating the glutes and some of the leg muscles, of course, in the movement, but I want you to think about the movement being initiated by the pelvic floor. So we exhale, draw the Kleenex up or the elevator up the vagina, the bones come together and we lift into a neutral bridge position. And as we inhale, we very gently soften everything and release back down to the floor. Exhale. Inhale. So continue about 15 repetitions if we can. And once again, pay close attention to initiating the movement by engaging and drawing up on the pelvic floor muscles. The glutes, the legs should be secondary in the movement. And after you've practiced about 15 of these repetitions, I'm going to ask you to stay up in the bridge position whenever you're ready. And this position, the perception of this new Kegel exercise might be a little bit easier because we have gravity helping. So holding the bridge position, your legs and glutes are going to stay active, but again, they're secondary. Think about exhaling, drawing the pelvic floor muscles in and up, and inhaling, holding the bridge, but just relaxing the pelvic floor. So again, it's equally as important to relax the pelvic floor after you engage it. So if you are comfortable in this position, practice about 15 repetitions, maintaining the bridge pose, and once again, drawing the elevator up, drawing the Kleenex up, bringing your pubic bone towards the vagina, bringing your tailbone towards the vagina, visualizing that hammock being drawn up, and then relaxing completely in the bridge position. Checking in with the breathing, checking in with tension creeping into any other part of the body, stopping, releasing it if you need to. Performing about 15 repetitions. When you're done, you're going to ease back down and just relax. You can do a few tuck and tilts if that feels comfortable for you. And then go ahead and release the arms and the legs, shake it out. And when you're ready, roll on over to your side and now come on up into, once again, into a seated position. Now I'm going to ask that you come up into your chair, come up to a seated position, but go ahead and sit up on your chair. sit comfortably with your feet just about hip width apart. You can just rest your hands on your lap. Take a moment, just relax the shoulders. Inhale, up, exhale. And let's move into just a little bit of thoracic rotation. Again, remember the core cylinder, we're all connected. Your pelvic floor, your diaphragm, your transverse abdominis, your multifidus, lumbar spine. So let's go ahead and rotate over to one side. Take a deep breath there. And release it back to center. Rotate over to the other side. Deep breath here. And come back to the center. Bring your arms in front of you and push away. Give me a very gentle flexion of your spine as you tuck your chin and tuck your tail, rounding the back. And then reverse that inhale, extend the spine, lift your sternum, and release. Now come on back into neutral, sitting evenly on your sitting bones. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath, and once again, focus on relaxing your whole core cylinder. So as you breathe in, soften the pelvic floor, soften the ribs, soften the belly. Feel, imagine the diaphragm acts like a drum. As you inhale, that sheath of a muscle presses down into the core cylinder, massaging the internal organs. As you exhale, that drum, that sheath of a drum-shaped muscle comes back up, massaging the lungs. So take a few deep breaths here, smelling the flowers, blowing out the candle, relaxing everything, just sitting tall in a very comfortable neutral position. Three breaths. And we're going to move into now an exercise called the quick flex. So now we're going to recruit the fast twitch muscle fibers. Your body is made up with, the muscles are made up with different types of muscle fibers. Some are slow twitch, some are fast twitch. We are all designed with a combination of both. Some of us have more fast twitch, some more slow twitch. It doesn't matter. It's just that certain movements that require the fast twitch are easier to learn for some of us, or vice versa with slow twitch. So this is fast twitch. This is quick flex, where we're taking the pelvic floor. Again, visualize the hammock of the pelvic floor. We're doing the exact same thing, but we're just doing it quicker. So we're drawing up, or if the visual of the elevator is more helpful, we're drawing up the elevator and then dropping the elevator, but it's quick. It's quick. It's more like, so it's like a draw up, release, draw up, release. So we're going to practice 15 of those repetitions, and you have to be very careful that you don't start gripping. Just think, again, it's very subtle. So let's begin and let's practice together. Keep on going. And if that rhythm is either too fast or too slow for you, then just find your own quick flick timing that works best for you. Engaging, letting go. Engaging, letting go. It's very easy to start gripping on this. So when you notice that, just stop what you're doing and then restart again. And then go ahead and relax. Just relax everything. Take a deep cleansing breath. Exhale. And our last position, I'm going to have you come on up into a standing position. So go ahead and walk around a little bit. Walk around the room a little bit. Just kind of shake everything out. So the Kegel, the condition of the pelvic floor is important because we want those muscles to turn on when we're moving, when we're walking, when we're getting up from a chair, when we're reaching for something, when we're exercising, when we're jogging. So as we move through this series, we're going to practice different positions engaging the pelvic floor. But for now, I want you to just practice what we've learned so far in a standing position. So stand comfortably. If you're if you practice yoga, mountain pose with your feet about hip width apart, this seems to be the posturally correct position, how we're designed to stand. So let's go ahead and get here with our weight even in our feet, standing up nice and tall. Go ahead and close your eyes now. Just breathe and make sure your shoulders and neck are relaxed, knees are straight but soft. Now in this position, again, visualize and create the neuromuscular brain-body connection with the hammock of your pelvic floor, drawing your pubic bone back, your tailbone forward, pulling the Kleenex or the elevator up as you do your pelvic floor Kegel exercise, and then exhaling and relaxing. So we exhale, draw it up. Inhale, release it. Go ahead and practice. Exhaling, we draw up. Inhaling, the elevator comes down and relaxes. Close your eyes, feel, create. About 15 repetitions in a standing position. Drawing up and letting go. Notice in this standing position, keep on going, keep practicing. Remember, anytime you feel gripping, tensing, straining in any, or breath holding in any part of the body, stop, shake it out, revisit it. Breathing in and breathing out. And then now, go ahead and shake it out, everybody. And now let's do a set of quick flicks in a standing position and just kind of get that experience. So once again, finding a neutral position. And now go ahead and up. Finding the rhythm that works for you. It's a little bit quicker. Noticing in a standing position, there is a tendency stronger to grip, to squeeze your butt, to create shoulder tension. Notice that, let that go. Anytime you feel that happening, stop, shake it out, and then revisit the quick flick exercise. So about 15 repetitions. And when you're done with that, just go ahead and shake it all out, walk around the room. And then come on back to a seated position. So in closing, everybody, I want you to take a look at your screen again and understand that the pelvic floor muscles are an extraordinary multitasker. So again, visualizing the core cylinder top, bottom, front, back. The pelvic floor, so conditioning of the pelvic floor is so connected. It's so connected to not only pelvic organ support, incontinence, urinary as well as fecal incontinence, breathing. It's connected to your breathing. It's connected to your lumbar and pelvic stability. And this is interesting because current research is showing more and more that low back pain, that there is a definite connection to pelvic floor dysfunction and low back pain. So again, you don't realize our body, we are all connected. Sexual function, obviously childbirth, menopause, aging, all of that affects our condition of the pelvic floor, but by conditioning and working on getting some control and some tone and gentle strength in that part of our core cylinder is amazing to really be effective in functioning in day-to-day movements. As we move forward with this series, the next 2 sessions will begin to layer on movement. We'll start to this pelvic floor conditioning, this Kegel type exercise practice will become more comfortable, more familiar, and I promise you will get results if you commit to practicing. So in closing, I'm asking that you practice doing these exercises every day for 30 days. If you can perform the Kegel, where we draw the bones of your pubic bone, coccyx, the elevator, the Kleenex, drawing in with the breath 50 times, and then doing the quick flick 50 times every day for 30 days, results, our research shows that results will be had. You don't need to do them all together. In fact, what you should do when you practice, if you start noticing that you're engaging, gripping, holding your breath, you should stop. Just stop and take a break, shake it out, and then revisit it. No one should know that you're doing the Kegel. You can't see it. So you can do it when you're standing in line at the store. You can do it at home if you're cooking dinner, if you're sitting at your computer, or different positions, different times of the day. Just practice, get a sense of really becoming familiar with that. But commit to doing 50 of each every day, whether they're together or broken up, and I promise you will get results. If you have any questions on any of this session today, then reach out to me. You'll have my email with this recording, and I'll be happy to review any of those details or help you in any specific way that I can. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining me.